The main source of negatively charged energy can be attributes associated with the deceased or living people. A person with negative thinking or who consciously wishes you harm can cause a number of failures, and in some cases is even able to attract trouble into your life. You need to learn how to defend yourself from such comrades, and for this we turn to esotericists and parapsychologists for advice. How to protect yourself from a bad person with the help of psychology. The science of the soul gives us several recommendations in case of a collision with an energy vampire. Their task is to drag you into a conflict or pull you into their territory, where you will lose strength too quickly. It is this condition that leads to emotional decline, distraction and confusion. And this, in turn, leads to trouble. In this state it is not difficult to get under a car and drive through a stop and generally do a lot of stupid things. And so, in order not to lose your temper and not fall into the trap of bad people, you should follow a few simple rules. For example, do not increase resource consumption. If your opponent raises his voice and starts shouting, don't follow his example. You will speak louder, he will speak even louder, you will raise your voice again, he will do the same. From the outside, you are two rabid dogs, but inside, the forces will slowly begin to leave your body. Most likely, that's all your opponent needs. Provocations are aimed at making you perform as many actions as possible, increase the pace of conversation and its activity. As soon as you get tired, and it happens very quickly, attention will be disrupted, concentration will decrease and you will start making mistakes. Say too much, hand over information, commit an act that the opponent will cling to. The purpose of provocations is to throw people off balance. Jokes and insults hidden in jokes should be answered with consent. This disarms the enemy, he does not achieve the goal. As long as you react emotionally, the negative impact will continue. Train yourself to respond with consent to catchy phrases from bad people and ignore neutral ones from them. They are definitely not ready for this, believe me. How to protect yourself from a bad person with the help of esotericism. Esotericism gives recommendations with regard to energy. Posture and attributes for protection are important here. One of the simplest ways to block negativity when dealing with a bad person is to cross your arms over your chest. This is a closed position that does not allow the interlocutor to violate your energy boundaries. If an ill-wisher comes to your house, then you can prepare in advance. Take containers, such as bottles or cups, fill them with salt water and arrange them around the apartment. Especially where the conversation will take place. Water attracts energy very strongly and it will certainly pass through it constantly, and salt delays the negative. In this way, your opponent can generate and throw out negativity, but he will fall into the trap and stay there. After the person leaves, the water must be disposed of. You can also make a habit of putting a glass of salt water next to the bed at night to get rid of the negativity received during the day. A very effective way, we wrote about it in more detail in this article. How to return his dirty tricks to the detractor. In order for the negative of the interlocutor to return to him, it is necessary to use a mirror. Yes, we have found many other ways, but at least they could not find any logical explanation. With the help of rituals and spells, you can damage it, but it is difficult to return it. But the mirror does an excellent job of reflecting any negative. The only difficulty is that it should be directed at the source of negative energy at the moment of interaction. You can place it behind your back or put a small mirror on the table, which you can point at the interlocutor at the moment of the dialogue. It's not difficult to do this, but the effect is good. All negative energy is mirrored and returned to its source. Let's look at a few steps that can help you get rid of bad influences and restore harmony. The first step to solving the problem is to realize that you are facing a toxic person. Note what behavioral traits are inherent in this person: criticism, manipulation, constant dissatisfaction, or even aggression. Understanding that you are dealing with a toxic person will help you take the necessary measures. One of the most important ways to protect yourself from toxic influences is to set clear boundaries. Identify which behaviors are unacceptable to you and be prepared to defend your rights. Don't be afraid to say no and defend your interests. If possible, avoid contact with a toxic person. This may mean limiting the time spent together, or even stopping communication altogether. Remember that your health and well-being are more important than any relationship. Reach out to close friends, family, or even professionals for support. Tell them about your situation and ask for advice. Sometimes just talking to someone who supports you can help you feel better. Finally, don't forget about your well-being. Take time for yourself, engage in hobbies, exercise or meditation, anything that will help you relax and regain strength. The stronger you are, the less likely it is that a toxic person will be able to influence you. Facing a toxic person can be a difficult ordeal, but remember that you have the strength to protect yourself and bring harmony back into your life. Identify the toxicity, set boundaries, avoid contact, find support and take care of yourself, and you will be able to overcome this negative experience and return to a healthy life. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.